Who's out there? Looks like we got nine viewers on this surprise little
Who's out there?
Hurricane Helene, Helen. I don't even know if I have it spelled right. Haven't been paying that much attention to it because it's all the way on the other side of the state and then some. It's a good 500 miles away from me, so I don't really have to worry about the hurricane per se. Although I did do a little short today, if you want to look on YouTube Shorts, show you some of the damage that is being done to our avocados, which is why I'm indoors today. Today was an office day for me. I caught up on email correspondence, did some video editing, printing labels, fussing with my website a little bit, because today is not a day to be outdoors working. The wind is blowing like crazy. When I was out there earlier, I heard some branches cracking. No, it's not a bad day. If we had to work, I would. Today's a Thursday. I don't do any picking or shipping on Thursdays anyhow. I mean, you know, maybe to other people in Florida because it goes overnight. If today was a Monday, we would have put a work day in. We would have just had to go easy. But we're under no danger here in South Florida on the East Coast from this storm, but it looks like it's going to hit the panhandle pretty hard, and I feel bad for those people because I've been through multiple hurricanes. Hurricane Wilma crushed my car, just flattened the thing. Hurricane Irma almost put me out of business here at the farm. That was brutal, and I hate that happened, but I thought, you know what? Today was an office day. I got all my office work done. I have a few hours to kill now before I got to go pick up my son at football practice. And I thought I would do an unboxing for y'all live. So first, let me start by saying hello. Who's out there? Steven is there in Atlanta. How you doing? I'd buy that for $1. Oh my God, that is a giant avocado, and you hope all is well. This is a Choquette variety avocado. I'd buy that. And this is small. They just started this week, the Choquettes, that we could pick them this week. And this is on the small side. This guy's probably 2.25 pounds. The heaviest one I've ever weighed was 3 3/4, 3.75. They routinely get to 3.5. On the other hand, I have this little dinky guy here that was a seed-grown avocado that I grew myself. We'll kind of talk about this. And then I also have this box here that I think holds an avocado that a viewer sent me, a subscriber sent. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, so I'm not going to say his name. If you're out there, go ahead and say who you are. He wanted me to taste this avocado. Nightwolf is out there. How you doing? Will is out there. How you doing, Will? Yeah, we're good. Thank you for the well wishes. We don't need any luck. We're good. The storm. We're nestled down here in this. You know, if you let's see. If this avocado was Florida, we're down here in what would be the southeast. This is the southwest. This would be the west. The storm is like over here. Now, I mean, I'm looking out my window. It is blowing like crazy. You couldn't even light a cigarette out in my backyard right now. The wind is so strong. And like I say, I did put a short. I put a YouTube short out there to show you guys what happens. Essentially, when we get winds like this, you have these clusters of avocados that are hanging, and they bounce together, and it makes a mark. We call those kiss marks. They also rub like this, they rub like this, and it turns into scarring. And so when we do get a bad storm or a tropical storm that's nearby, a hurricane that's nearby, it does do a lot of damage to our crop. But we're gonna be okay with this one. I just have the people that's gonna get hit up in the panhandle in my thoughts, because having gone through a few hurricanes myself, it's no picnic. It's terrible. How is everyone's day going today? Frosty's here. How you doing, Frosty? I've been getting your messages. Sounds like you've been having a little bit of a rough time, and now you're coming out of that, which is great. Xerxes there. Wind is pretty strong in Central Europe, or Xerxes, I guess. Where are you from, Xerxes? Where in Central Europe? Let us know. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing great, Frosty. We're in the fall. So up where you are, Frosty, have you harvested anything? Did you grow anything over the summer? Are you currently picking or eating anything that you grew? Let us know. Let me take a sip of this. I've been drinking this not every day, especially now with it used to be nothing for me to stop and get a sub, a turkey sandwich or something like that. It'd be like $6, $7. I don't eat lunch on the road anymore when I'm running around. I mean, my wife and I are back to like when I was a kid in the 80s. and my mom would make like big giant batches of sloppy joes or big batches of like pork roast, and we'd eat it all week long. That's what we're doing now. But when I used to go to Publix and get a sub or go to Jimmy John's, they have this blackberry lemonade that is absolutely delicious. I would get a bottle of it. My wife discovered they sell it in like a half-gallon jug. She brought that home for me today. It made my day. So let me just take a sip of this blackberry, Publix brand blackberry lemonade. Just the smell of it, it's delicious. Oh, that's good. Hang on one second. No way, I'm live streaming, so you can talk and stuff. Just make sure you have clothes on. Okay. If you come behind me, I don't want to get banned from YouTube. I don't care if anyone sees your titties. I just don't want to get banned from YouTube. You know what I mean? Good to know, good to know. Yeah. Frosty's doing great. Psalms is out there. I got a football player that plays for me named Psalms. He's a good boy. And Frosty, my wife, says hello. Mitch Christ from Osceola County. I don't know if that's where Osceola High School is. Is it near Kissimmee? We were just up there 2 weeks ago. South Dade played Osceola. My son plays for South Dade. We drove up there to play your high school up there. We got beat. I think it was 21-7 that we lost. Frosty is saying YouTube is hard. You're right, Frosty, it is. It's hard. Even when you get traction, like I'm up over 150 subscribers, I get 150,000 subscribers. I get a lot of views every day, and then all of a sudden, I'll just have these low periods, and then it'll pick up again. But we've got really good subscribers on this channel, so, it's fun, at least, Muzi Shabalala. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Tshabala. I like the lala part at the end. Good evening for you, all the way from South Africa. Wow. I don't even know what time it would be over there. I'm thinking you're probably 6 hours ahead or so. And you're kind of like straight down from like Germany. So it's probably about 10 p.m., maybe 11 p.m. over there. Let me know. Mitch Christ. Yeah. So... I don't know. Oh, Mitch, you must be getting ready. Are you guys clear from the hurricane? Let me know. And you're okay. So that is your local high school up there. There were some big boys, some good play. They got a running back, man. He's a dog. Heather McBee, hello from Lorigo, 5 minutes from Indian Rocks Beach, and it's crazy wind here. Yeah, we're having tons of wind. I mean, it's going to be a comfortable evening once I get off this live stream. It's going to be a comfortable evening to just go out and sit on the porch. Joe Blow, appropriately named today since we're indoors because of a hurricane. Like I say, even though the hurricane's far away, it's kind of has me indoors today. Joe Blow, Ayo. You watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia by chance? Frosty's Garden Adventures. Have I thought about the group chat? You know what, Frosty? I have been so busy lately. Let me tell you what's been going on. My son, oh my God, we were getting ready, he was going to school the other day. I was sitting here at the table having breakfast. It's like 6:15 in the morning. He comes walking down the hallway, holding the wall, dripping water. He got out of the shower, gasping for breath like he was choking on something. I didn't know what was happening. Now, he had like a cough, like a respiratory infection for a couple days. I thought I was going to have to do CPR on him till he kind of caught his breath. We took him to the doctor. Turned out he had a really bad bronchitis infection. So my mind was on that. Our washer is broken. I need to fix it. And then my dang air conditioning broke in the house. And like we've been using fans. We've been using fans anyway because the price of electricity has gotten so high. And so my mind hasn't been on getting you, Frosty, and Cupcake hooked up. But going into the winter, I'm going to set up a regular stream like this, like a once a week, pick a night. We'll do it every night at the same time. I was kind of settling into a Sunday at 1 o'clock thing, but that interferes with football, and I can't do that. It's just a big part of my family's culture. Me, my son, my wife, our friends, we watch football on Sunday. So I got to pick a different time. But yes, Frosty, I will put time into that thought. And let's see, Mitch is getting some wins occasionally. I don't know if the storm is already north of you. Hon, can you make me a little cafe? Un cafecito? You going to join me on the live stream?
For a few minutes.
Oh, look who's coming. Noe's coming.
For a few
All right.
Talk to your friends.
Yeah, so let me ask, who was I asking there? Mitch. So you're getting some wins. Are you already out of the woods? I'm not sure. Going by like the last cone I looked at, I think you're probably in the clear like we are, and I hope you are. Artful Watcher. Ronnie Atme, Simmons, Catalina, Brogdon, Campana. Am I missing one for a personal collection? That's a solid range for an avocado. Yeah. You might want to add in a Monroe or an Oro Negro. Hang on, my phone's acting up. Oh. Man, I was doing so good. Sorry about that. I was answering a question about avocado varieties, but I have a confession to make. So in order to make all this happen, I have one of those strips, you know, the power plug strips. Instead of plugging it into the wall, I plugged it into itself. Therefore, I was starting to lose battery in my phone. Where was I? Who was asking me here? Artful Watcher, Ronnie Atme, Simmons, Catalina, Brogdon, Kampong. Am I missing one? Yeah. You need a late season. I'm not sure when Kampong is, but you've got a dead spot from about September to January, February till the Ronnie kicks in. So you'd want to look into either a Choquette or a Monroe, and you'll be good. The Catalina will get you through September and maybe into October if it's big enough and gives enough fruit, and then that'll get you to November where you'll have the Monroe. Greater good, you've been picking up yard debris all day. Yeah, that's smart. I've been on Facebook looking at, I'm on some like fruit grower channels, and man, I think people are making some huge mistakes. I've seen people like putting stakes in the ground and putting like big canvas or nylon tarps. Some people have been going around their trees with plywood. Those people can't have been through a hurricane before. Plywood is like confetti when strong winds come. In Hurricane Wilma, no, do me a favor, just turn the camera down just a tad, like take the top and, you know what I mean? Well, you got to do it from touch the tripod. There you go, a little more. Yeah, that's good. Okay, come on and join me. Hurricane Wilma, when it hit and squashed my car, there was a piece of plywood flying, and I kind of grabbed it and tried to hold it, and whoosh, it just blew away from me like a kite. And like, luckily, there weren't like nails sticking through it. It could have caught me on the way. People are doing some really dumb things. I was saying, like, people are putting like mesh up to protect their trees from the wind. They're just creating a giant sail.
Yeah.
To catch the wind.
Why?
You can't stop hurricane level winds. You
can.
You have to accept hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds. If the more you put on your tree, the more it gives your tree to catch the wind and fall over.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. The better strategy is to just kind of, and when you be putting up plywood and stuff, that's just more shit that's gonna fly and go through windows. Sometimes in life we have to accept that Mother Nature is gonna knock our trees down. The good news is we can go and put them back up, which we have done, right? Mm-hmm. Now look, if you've got a Choquette variety avocado, you've got maybe a summer variety that's still got a few 100 pounds of fruit on it, yeah, maybe go pick all the fruit. Not only will you not lose that fruit, but it'll be less weight and less strain on your tree, and your tree is less likely to fall over. If you pick all the fruit, you can also maybe get out there this afternoon and prune the tree down and make it small. But all these things I'm seeing where people are I mean, it happens all the time. I'm on boating forums, you know, and people are like, oh, I got my boat strapped down. Have you never seen a whole neighborhood wiped away? Whatever you strap the boat to is going. Like people don't, I guess you don't understand it till you've gone through it.
Yeah.
You know? Now there is a technique that Julian from Lara Farms talks about, which is, imagine this was a tree trunk. You can go with a chainsaw and cut the main stump halfway through, almost like a circuit breaker. And, you know, do that at about 8 feet high. And if the wind gets strong enough, it'll crack it where you've made that halfway through cut. And the top of the tree will fall over, but it won't pull out from the roots.
That's smart.
And then the tree will just grow back. Whereas if you have the whole tree like we do, because we have late season avocados, the whole tree goes down, the whole root ball comes out of the ground. You have to cut the tree anyway, stand it back up, but now them roots all need to heal and regrow. And it's gonna take longer, and next year you probably ain't gonna get fruit off of that tree. But yeah, greater good, you're smart. That's what you gotta do, is batten down the hatches, man. You just gotta clear up anything that's gonna go flying and cause problems. Mike R., your in-laws are going to get hammered with rain in South Carolina. Your rain prayers have finally been answered in New Jersey. Have you guys been in a little bit of a drought up there? I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I remember this time of year, the creeks and the rivers being real low. They'd be putting, you can't water your lawn and stuff like that. They'll be all right. I think they'll be all right in South Carolina. There's an awful lot of land for this hurricane to travel over before it hits them there. Stephen Williams, sorry about that. The message went too soon. You have a seed-grown avocado from Haas Seed. It's an... Okay, here we go. Your seedling is about 4 feet tall and has 3 branches plus the center growth. The plan is to graft next spring. Yeah, that I love that plan. This coming winter. Don't wait till the spring. Do it in like January, February. In the spring, it's too late. The scions have already pushed their flowers. Who am I missing here? Joe Blow, that's some bad luck. Mitch is happy our son's doing well, so am I. I was explaining to Frosty that I was kind of distracted with stuff, with Tommy being sick and the washer being broken, the AC being broken. You know, I keep things too long. How long have I been married to you? Yeah. I had the washer too long. The AC is due to change out. My car I drive a 1997 Dodge Dakota. What year did we get married?
1997.
Yeah, the same year as that truck. Look at all the work I got to do on that damn truck to keep it running.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Probably before half of you guys were born. Mitch Christ, you'll have a cafecito too. Is that what I asked for? Did I tell you to get me a cafecito? Yeah. You know where I got that?
Here's a cafecito.
You know where I got that?
Where?
President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, when he would go on TV and talk for hours and hours. I remember one day he was like ranting. I was down in Venezuela watching him, and he was ranting and pounding the table like he does. Oh, el pueblo venezolano, blah, blah, blah. And then like right in the middle of it all, he just looks at his wife and he goes, chica, dame un cafecito. And he like told his wife to get him a coffee in the middle of his like political rant.
That's right. That's really funny.
All right, Noe, here's what we got going on here. We have this seedling variety avocado.
Oh, that's the one.
This is the one I grew. There's signs that I picked it too early.
Yeah. You told them the story?
Some of them know the story. So this is a seedling avocado that I grew myself. I planted the seed in the ground 9 years ago. Mm-hmm. And this is its 9th season. And it flowered for the first time this year. I planted 2 trees right next to each other. One flowered this year, the other didn't. The one that flowered was a very weak flowering. I've never seen such a weak flowering. Even little trees I have in 3-gallon pots burst with flowers, avocado flowers. I mean, an avocado tree could have 1 million flowers on it. This thing was very sparse with its flowers, and it only gave 1 avocado. Now, the problem is, avocados have seasons. We have early, mids, and lates. And even within there, some of the earlies you can harvest in May. Some of them you gotta wait till June, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure when to pick this guy. And normally a tree would give you multiple avocados. So I could have maybe picked one in late June. Okay, too early. Try again in July, too early. August, too early. I figured like September, I'd be able to catch it. If it was supposed to be an early, there'd still be some life in it. And maybe if it was a late, but it would still be kind of, I could like cheat and get it early, but this has all the signs of an avocado that was picked too early. It's not softening, like this choquette is in season, and this is softening the right way. It's spongy and it's uniform all around. You feel how that's just, it's got like a soft surface, but it's still very hard
Can we play a game?
underneath. What's the game you want to play?
Okay. I want to guess what this is inside. Like, what's the flavor? What's the pit? And whoever got close between you and me wins the game.
Well,
You go first.
I think we're both going to have the same exact guesses.
Okay, but maybe you'll be surprised about the flavor.
Okay. I think since I picked it early, it's going to taste sour. And I think it's going to be mostly pit. What do you think?
I think the pit is going to be, because now that I touch it and I can feel a little bit of the skin, I think the pit is not as big as this one, maybe medium size, and it has like a blend taste.
Let's check it out. I can tell, oh my God. I can't even get the knife in. That's how much pit.
No.
That's how much pit.
What?
Look at the knife won't even
Oh
won't
my
even go in. Look at,
God.
yeah, it's all pit.
Okay.
And I don't even think tasting it is going to be an issue because it's too early. I don't even think tasting it is going to be a possibility. I picked it too early. Let's see here. Let me cut this sucker open. There we go. Okay.
Oh, it has a weird color.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. It's got a nice yellow coloration to it, and yeah, it's pretty
With green, no?
There is
It's
some.
kinda like cool. It's
yeah.
kinda like cool.
There is some flesh.
It's kind of like cool.
Now, like I say, right about here along this edge is the only part that's really soft. So let's taste. Oh, it's got a very soft skin. This is one of them. Looks like one of them you could eat the skin. Yeah,
Really?
you could chew through that skin. And just smelling it, I could smell that I picked it a little too early. So we'll remember for next year, we won't start even testing these guys till
Okay.
October. What I would do is take a little nibble right there.
Okay. Right here?
Mm-hmm. Little nibble.
Sorry.
She ate the whole thing.
Okay.
No, I'll take a taste.
I'm surprised.
I picked it too early.
You did, but
Yeah.
I think I have potential.
It might have potential. We won't know till next year, if it fruits next year. Okay, now, let's try for some redemption here.
Yeah.
You ever see what the kids do online, Noe? Mm-hmm. They call it an unboxing.
What do we got here?
This is from, I don't want anyone, I hope I didn't show any addresses or anything. This is, well, okay, one of my viewers,
What's that? Are you trying to be sexy?
well, if you find a guy licking a knife sexy, I think you better get off of YouTube and open yourself an OnlyFans. if you haven't already.
No.
As you know, I get every day, people send me pictures of avocados, right?
Yeah.
And they say, hey, can you identify this avocado? Pictures of avocado trees. Can you tell me what's wrong with this tree? It really makes me glad I chose to be an avocado farmer and not a proctologist. Pictures every day. So anyway, dude sends me a pic.
Okay.
I have to go back and look at the text. Maybe, I don't even know, dude or a chick, I don't know. Sends me a pic. Hey, can you identify my neighbor's avocado?
Okay.
Yeah. I take one look. I'm like, bro, that's a seedling. And then he sends me a picture of the tree. And I go, oh, yeah, going by the tree, that's definitely a seedling, just by the way the tree was growing. So he writes back to me, yeah, my neighbor planted it from seed like 20 years ago. So he was like, he wasn't seeking information. He was testing my knowledge.
Yeah. What's up with
I
that?
don't care. Bring it. Bring it. Test my knowledge. I love, what's my favorite
He
show on
knows
TV?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. Test my knowledge. Ask me, go ahead. Ask me questions right now. General trivia. I won't even look it up. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go into the chat. Ask me questions. Okay, let me open this box. So anyway, then he said, can I send you an avocado to taste it?
Okay.
So I said yes. And then much like my father does when he sends a package, he checked up on me like every hour to see until I got the package. Here I have it.
God.
Look at this one. Look at very
Nice, nice.
Very
I
good
like
job.
it. I like it.
get that open.
Wow, I like the
Attention to
wrapping.
detail.
I like the wrapping.
Oh, we
That's
could
how
save. We
do
could
it.
save this and reuse it.
Oh, I like
Looky
how
here, an avocado.
Wow.
Oh well,
It's not ready.
it's not ready. I assumed it was ready to eat. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do the tasting yet.
No.
Wah, 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 wah. I thought he was sending me one that was ready to eat because he overnighted it to me and was like, hey, you got to go get it. You got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not ready yet. I got to let this sucker harden or soften, that is. But that said, we got us this nice choquette.
Okay.
So
You
when
want
we...
salt and pepper for that?
Bro, come on.
Oh, sorry.
What do you think? I'm going to show up without my salt?
Okay. Pepper.
I don't know pepper. So when we pick and ship our avocados to you guys, see that big scar down there? That's called scab. That probably doesn't affect the flesh, the actual meat under the skin. But sometimes if it's deep enough, it will. But when we're packing, we call these uglies. And we save the uglies for ourselves. Or like the air conditioning guys that were here today. Oh, this is an avocado farm. Cool, blah, blah, blah. Here, have some avocados. And I told him, I said, listen, there's going to be a little scarring because these are the ones that are left over from what I sent my customers. But, you know, whatever. Those are the ones we eat. But this is a choquette variety. And choquette has just come into season this week, September 24th. And I was out picking them. They have to be 4.25 inches in diameter to be legal. This one I think I picked this one like a week ago because, you know, I like to get them off the tree and test them first.
It looks perfect.
Yeah, and you fell in love with the choquette last year. You got any appetite or did you? Ooh, look at that.
Oh, look at this.
Looky.
You guys, it has a
That's
beautiful
nice.
color. It looks like it's juicy because I see it's very shiny. And it looks like you can do an amazing guacamole with this. So.
Yep. Greater good. Noe, the ageless wonder. Yeah. Do you tell your age?
No.
Psh, come on. No. I mean, no, you've been married to me since 1997, and since I'm not in jail, they could at least do some math.
Well, let them guess.
Well, I mean, you know. Okay, Mitch, you're securing your baby dwarf banana. I mean, if it's a dwarf banana plant, dude, you should be good unless something else falls on it. Rosary, when I ship the Budley, is it possible to swap out avocado with mamey? Probably not. Probably not. Send me a private message on that one.
Oh my God, dude.
Stephen Williams, your seedling will be grown outdoors in a very large pot during the summer and a greenhouse in the winter. Make sure once a year you take it out of the pot and root prune it so you don't end up with a root-bound tree. Artful Watcher, you had a papaya and heavy damage to a rainbow eucalyptus, Cecropia, and star. Oh, yeah, the star apple too. That's a significant tree. The Kaimito. That's like a hardwood tree almost. That's a bummer. But most of your fruit trees are good. I'm gonna cut my own piece. Rainbow eucalyptus, Artful. We lost ours. Remember the Dr. Seuss tree?
Oh my God.
Man, that was a bummer. We used to go out and peel the skin and look at the colors. And now the upside is we got to put some fruit trees in when we lost all those hardwoods.
Dude, this is amazing. I'm sorry.
You love the choquette.
Oh my God.
I remember now. See, I like the choquette, but I prefer the Monroe over the choquette. But I'll eat the shit out of the choquette.
You have to order some choquettes for more.
Yeah, but I remember last year you fell in love. You were hunting the grove even after we were picked clean. Remember you found that 3 3/4 pounds one?
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me get
So
this.
good.
Let me get this plate here.
It's like you're eating a guacamole.
Put a little sal, on there to go with my cafecito.
Avocado and cafecito. I like that.
That's a big bite for me. I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Oh man.
It's very juicy.
It is, and it's got that that avocado that classic avocado taste.
I love it. Do
Yeah.
you like? I have a
these.
question for you. Do you like more juicy, the juicy side, or do you like more the hard side? You guys, you can tell us. What do
Yeah.
you like in an avocado?
Do you
More
like a firm or a creamy?
Creamy
So
or creamy? Creamy.
firm would be like a Simmons The Miguels, a lot of you got Miguels off of me. Those are on the firm side. Now, if you got choquettes, and please ripen them properly. Let them get properly softened.
Yeah.
You'll have them more creamy. So, for example, watch. If I take the tines of the fork, here, let's get this crap out of the way.
I got you.
If I take the tines of a fork, I can kind of mash through a choquette.
Look at that. You
See
can
that?
make guacamole right there.
Look at that. So like, whereas I would tell you with the Simmons or the Miguels you got from me, they were very good for like cubing or serving in spears, chunks in salad, sushi. The choquette is great for guacamole. The choquette is great for like mixing up and, oh, let me give you a recipe. Make you a pot of rice and just take a half a choquette or a quarter of a choquette. Just stir it into that rice till the avocado disappears. You just get this like mushy, pasty rice mixture. Taste it. You want a little more avocado? Mix more in. Hit it with some salt. You're welcome.
I'm making it now.
We got rice?
Yeah.
Oh, get
I'm
the
going to show them.
rice you were cooked. She cooked a pot of rice yesterday.
Because I have babies. I have chickens, and they're little babies, and they only eat rice.
So we picked my son up at football practice. He says, "What's for dinner?" I said, "Oh, we have pulled chicken, right? Barbecue chicken and rice." And she goes, "No, we don't. We don't have rice." I go, "I saw rice in the and I'm like, "Did you cook rice for your chickens?" So when you have chickens, you send them your scraps. You don't proactively.
They're babies. They're babies. They're babies.
Okay.
No, they almost died.
Well, you could show them if you can go catch one.
Okay.
I don't think you proactively prepare meals for the chickens, but whatever. But I guess I'm going to steal some of their rice right now. Nah, you're good, Mitch. You're going to be fine with that little bit. As long as your stuff is small, the shorter the better, the lighter the better. I mean, lighter as in it's not laden with fruit. If you had a bunch on that banana tree, then you're at a lot more risk when the wind blows. Artful Watcher, if you have choquette, would a Monroe be redundant? It could be. If you have a big enough choquette, they start in September. You could leave them on the tree till January. Monroes start in November, and you could leave them on the tree into February. I've left them to Super Bowl Sunday. They could be redundant. If you're a backyard grower just looking to hit all the seasons, if you have a decent summer variety that'll stretch you out to October, then I would say go with a Monroe. If you've got early, like a Simmons that you can maybe stretch out to early August, then I'd say go with the choquette so you can, pick up again in September. But yeah, I think if you've already got early and mid covered, you don't really need, you'll have way more fruit than you could eat as a household if you have a choquette and a Monroe. Both of them are productive, especially the Monroe. The Monroe, the fruit are a little smaller, you get more fruit, but you also get a lot more pounds of fruit off the Monroe. Alex is going to bed since it's getting late. Yeah, he's way over there in Eastern Europe or even further. Okay, Finn's in Brussels. Fantastic, man. I like your sprouts. Frosty's out of here. We'll see you, Frost, man. Ronnie Forgets is that lady from Dos Corazones. She might be. You mean my wife? She's on Spanish TV, so she's been on novellas and game shows and news shows. She's currently on a talk show. Noe,
Yeah.
were you ever on a show called Doce Corazones?
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's not her. What's my opinion about white sapote? I love it. I love it. Is it worth it and when it's ripe? I think it's ripe in like the early summer, late spring. And yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. What are Alex, Paul, and Noe's favorite mango variety? Alex, I don't know. Paul, I feel like I want to say he loves the Ronnie and maybe the Maria Black. I think Noe would tell you choquette. Last year, she pretty much locked in on. Noe, what's your favorite mango variety?
Mango?
Yeah. I meant to say avocado variety. Oh, choquette. Avocado. Wait, I misread the guy's question. He wants to know mango variety. Alex, I don't know. Paul, I want to say Paul likes sunrise. Maybe lemon zest. He does say lemon. Okay, Paul says lemon zest is the best. Alex, I don't know, although he gave us this one called ambrosia, which is up there. I gave him some feedback on a white Perry that I tried, which he loves. I don't know Alex's favorite. My wife's favorite is Pickering. Jupiter, you got 2020 coming next week. Is it possible to hit them with hit your clumps of banana with say 2 pounds of that 2020 every 60 days and you'll fix them. And give them a lot of water. Bananas love water. Night Wolf, do I hire workers to pick a truckload for the pack? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a person. Yeah, we do 6 and then 1, 2. We do 10,000 pounds 2 times a day when we're going to the packing house. So I'll have, I got workers for that, for the wholesale side of the business. Absolutely. Yeah, and they're experts. The thing about grove work, tree work, it's not just like laborers. These guys have to be skilled. They're heavy equipment operators. They've got to have driver's licenses. They're towing equipment back and forth. They've got to follow all kinds of safety regulations, not only because the regulations exist, but they don't want to hurt themselves, A lot of times there's power lines that go over a grove. You got to keep all that in mind. So, when you find good, like the guys, they've been with me for 13 years now, and when you find good ones, you keep them. And we got, top notch.
They're amazing.
The work ethic, the competency, the professionalism exceeds the work ethic of half the people that probably worked for me when I was a corporate vice president.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
There was, especially toward the end, like from 2010 to 2015, people got so soft. They were such babies. Oh, we're going to have a meeting at our corporate office on a Friday. Friday, we don't want to travel on Friday. Okay, I'm having a meeting on Friday. You work for me. You're required to be in that meeting now. You decide if you want to come or not. Oh, but no, my kid. You signed up for this job. This is one of the highest paying jobs in the world. They should be grateful to have it. The whining, the bitching, I don't even think I could be in that world now post-COVID. And all this work at home. Yeah, I know, I work at home. I'm a farmer. Technically I don't work at home. I live at work.
You do.
Yeah. All farmers do, right? But these guys, just the strongest work ethic, the strongest competency, capability, pride. They don't want to do a crappy job and then their buddies come in the next day and see they did a crappy job. It's a pleasure to be out there with those
They're
guys
amazing.
working every day, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to try?
Of course I do. So you just mixed.
Oh, no. I forgot the salt and I forgot the pepper.
Okay, do your salt and pepper. Mm-hmm. Tell them what you're doing, honey.
Okay, so I put a little bit of butter because the rice was kind of like a little hard. And I put this choquette that is so creamy inside, match it, and I'm going to put some salt, just like this.
Yeah, see, look at this.
And a little bit of pepper.
Look at how creamy. I could just scoop it out like pudding. You couldn't do that with a Miguel.
No.
The Miguel is firm. Although my customers love the Miguels this year. I can't wait. This was my second year doing Miguels.
The Miguel is a beautiful avocado.
Yes, it is.
It's like a piece of art.
It really is.
It's so gorgeous.
I love these choquettes. I sent a box to my dad. He's like, when are you doing the big ones?
The big ones.
So this is avocado rice. And it just, look, next time you're having a dinner and you're serving rice as a side dish, make avocado rice. Surprise your guests or your family with some avocado rice. And if you're not sure how much to use, just put a little in. You could always add more right before you serve it. Oh, yum. Mm-hmm. Yum. And I don't even eat this as a side dish. If she has a pot of rice going, when I come in real quick for a break, I'll just mash. Isn't it good?
Oh my God.
Isn't it good?
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. God damn, that's good.
This is amazing, you guys.
Did you put oil in that?
Butter.
Oh, you put butter.
A little bit.
Okay, I was just about to say, you would swear there was butter in this. Well, there is butter in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it so good.
Oh my God! But I can taste the avocado. So
Oh,
good.
it's so good. So good. Health Chick wishes I would grow Hass. The problem is we have too much sun in South Florida, and they don't have a lot of leaves. The Hass variety tree isn't very leafy, and so leaves provide shade. They protect the tree and they protect the fruit from the rays of the sun. That's why they grow better out in California. It's just as hot out there, but they don't have that relentless sun like we have here. You can get a sunburn at 7 in the morning here.
Oh my God! Yes.
I remember when I first moved here, I let my feet get sunburned at 7 o'clock at night.
No way.
I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. You get sunburned between about 11 and 1 p.m. 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's like maybe I don't know, maybe like if you're up on a mountain so there ain't no shade, blocking the sun maybe a little later. Down here, all day long. If the sun's up, you can get a sunburn. Mike R. loves creamy. Artful Watcher prefers firm. And see, that's what I try to tell people all the time. They say, hey, which avocado variety do you like better? And I have two answers, two prefaces to my answer. One is it's always hard to tell because it's hard to compare a Choquette to a Simmons. Eat all you want. Because you never have them with you both at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
But item number 2, I'm reluctant to tell people I like something or I don't because I don't want to influence or taint their perception of the fruit.
That's so sweet, huh?
Well, I could tell someone I prefer this over that, but they might prefer that over this, you know?
But you guys, you gotta try this. This is just amazing.
That is good.
You gotta buy some chocolate and you gotta put it in your rice with a little bit of butter.
Yeah, you ain't giving this to the chickens. I'm eating all this. And here's Xerxes. It seems like he would prefer a firmer avocado. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, we got a lot of participation here. Okay, Jupiter likes firm, and then, yeah, because you can have firm, and if you want it creamy, you could always blend it or mix it with a little oil and blend it. Excellent point. Sergio Perez just picked up a few day avocados that fell from the storm. Okay, I've heard of day, I haven't tried it. Chickens love moringa and Mexican sunflower leaves. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Although they seem to love everything.
They do.
Except chocolate cupcakes.
Yeah, they don't actually.
She gave them chocolate cupcakes. They rejected them.
But they eat everything. The babies only eat rice.
Oh, Mitch, your tree's only 3 weeks in the ground, dude. If it blows over, just replant it. You're gonna be fine.
Oh my God.
You're gonna be fine. Moto Tam, you still haven't tried the Oro Negro. By the time yours are ready, you'll send me a few. Okay, well, probably by the time yours are ready, mine will be ready too, because I put an Oro Negro in last year. It didn't fruit this season, but I anticipate it will next season. Moto Tech, hey, how you doing, man? Oh, wait, you're the one that just said that. Okay, never mind. Azalea Park. Oh, okay, so you're communicating with me on Finn the Human, but Azalea Park is your YouTube channel, and you like my videos. Thank you. So I'll have to check out Azalea Park's channel. Chris likes the Kit avocado. Jupiter, yeah, this Paul with his Donnies, that poor guy is really getting a lot of his balls busted about them Donnies. I like a Donnie.
Me too.
I like a Donnie. I'm sorry.
Me too.
Spreading ideas. Is cut, root bound, and return avocado tree to pot good or bad for the tree? I don't have land, only pots. I've tried to save 2 root bound trees and I wasn't able to. I think it's something you have to prevent. I'm not sure if it's something you can fix, or maybe someone could do a better job than I did. But yeah, keep up with them. Mike R., which part of the computer draws the most power? The cooling. Okay. Hugo, your variety box just showed up. You're so excited to taste new avocados. If you got a variety box from me, you must have reached out to me like, oh, are you the guy I sent it to yesterday? Probably. Okay, picked the Black Prince, the Catalina, and the Choquette, right? Because I went and picked those by hand before we went to the football game. If you're the guy that got those, if you ordered yesterday and I sent them to you, I hope you enjoy them. Because I usually don't do varieties. I usually never, because we only pick one kind at a time.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I gotta go, sweetheart.
Dale. Yeah, Jupiter agrees with me. Snowflakes have mass produced in the Fortune 500. It's a shit show. I can't even imagine. I can't. I don't get people not wanting to work. In fact, I saw there was an article that came out today that I have to take a bite of this first. Let me finish this rice before I go blabbing. Oh, that's good. Okay. I saw an article today, this morning, when I was checking the news. It's the end of September, which means it's been about 90 days since this year's crop of new college graduates got jobs. And according to the statistics cited in this article, this year marks by far the greatest number of entry-level college grads who didn't make it past the 90-day probationary periods. You know how a lot of companies will hire you and you've got this you need to hit a certain, employee score, employee ranking score or whatever in order to keep with the job, or maybe certain jobs won't put you on benefits and things like that till they test you out for 90 days, or some jobs just don't even tell you. They're just like, well, we're going to give our new workers 90 days and we'll see who can cut it and who can't. I guess the biggest amount of people got the boot ever in the American economy. And the two biggest reasons employers cite is, number one, this generation's inability to think for themselves and take initiative. And number two, attendance. Attendance. The first 90 days of their job, and there are attendance issues. How do you not go to your job? I don't get that. I don't get it. They don't want to work. So anyway, they're going to have their own whining. Oh, you baby boomers, you expect too much out of us, blah, blah, blah. But what the article went on to talk about was that employers are actually seeking alternative sources for their new hires. They're actually shying away from college hires. Now, you're not going to hire an architect or a lawyer or a respiratory therapist, right? You've got to go through that college and get all those certifications. But for things like web design, coding, we live in a world now where there's a lot of videos being done, editing, production, that sort of thing. They'd rather a guy that's been building websites since he's 14 years old and he graduated high school this year than people with a computer science degree coming from an entitled generation who doesn't want to get their ass out of bed in the morning and actually present to work. It's sickening to me. How did I get off on that tangent? We talked about the snowflakes in Fortune 500, yeah. Nightwolf, thanks for clarification on the type of workers. I mean, Nightwolf, look, here's the thing, and I know this from being a football coach too. When I went for my MBA, I know I don't, okay, I say bad things about college all the time, but I'm a college graduate, and I also almost got a master's degree. I was 3 classes shy back in like 1997, and I quit. Day one of my MBA program that I eventually quit from, the professor was a vice president at Vanguard, the big mutual fund company, the investment firm, Vanguard. And he got up, they had like the little whiteboard with the markers. That was kind of new to me back then. I was used to blackboards. And he started out class, he looked at us and he said, "You can hire a turkey to climb a tree." No. Let me start over. You can train a turkey to climb a tree, or you can hire a squirrel. And the whole theme of this guy's class was about hiring the right people for the right job, and how organizations do a terrible job of placing people in a job that is right for them. There is a hat for every head, but not every head can fit every hat. And there used to be so much focus on hiring people and training them and identifying their deficiencies and shoring up their deficiencies. Now, it's been almost 30 years since then. And I think people are realizing that it's best to focus on someone's strengths and play to their strengths and kind of ignore their weaknesses. Like a great example is Shaquille O'Neal. He had about the worst free throw ratio in he had about the worst free throw percentage in the NBA. But he had about the best rebound percentage in the NBA. They're not going to sit there and try to make Shaq a better free throw guy. They're just going to take advantage. For every minute you could be maybe get him from 82% to 83%. You could spend that minute working on rebounds and get even more out of them. And it's the same with workers, And so they say hire slowly, fire quickly. And that's what we do. Me and my partner, we get guys in. If we have any concerns at all, they're gone. We don't play. We don't mess around. They're gone. And the ones that are good, we keep. And agriculture is seasonal. There's downtime. So we save work to be done during the downtime. We never want to have our good guys on the bench. We never want to tell one of our good guys, hey, we don't have no work for the next 2 weeks. Because you know what's going to happen? He's going to pack up the family. He's going to drive to Georgia. He's going to drive to Texas. And we're never going to see him again. So when you get a good worker, you do whatever you can to keep that good worker. When you get a bad worker, you get rid of them as fast as you can. And I'll tell you where I really saw that was coaching youth football. I always thought, yeah, of course you want to recruit good players, and then you want to work on people and develop skill. And we ended up with a team one year, and luckily we had a lot of people. But this particular year, there were some boys that were horrible, and their parents were just toxic. They were terrible. And I just took it upon myself to do what I could to get rid of them. It was a program where you couldn't cut, but you could encourage people to quit. And the following year, we didn't let any of them sign up. And getting rid of those bad apples had a bigger effect, a bigger positive effect on our team the next year than acquiring good talent. So hire slowly, fire quickly. Okay, Deepu says it was the CPU. I said it was the air conditioning, the cooling of a computer that's going to run your bill through the roof. Let's get the ruling on that. Jupiter, egg fruit. Is there a method to ensure it makes it to ripening without dropping? I don't know. And I've only ever eaten egg fruit once. I don't know much about it. I've had it in a shake, which I loved. I ate the fruit like that, just the fruit itself. I wasn't overly impressed. I loved it in a shake though. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. With avocados, we got to find ways to use like Bubba Gump. We got boiled avocado, fried avocado, avocado stew, avocado salad, avocado rice, avocado ice cream, avocado shakes. Let's see. What differences do you pick out between the Monroe and the Choquette that make Monroe better for you? Hugo's asking that. Well, Hugo, for me, I don't know that one is better for me than the other. Because as a commercial grower, when my Choquettes come into season, it happens to be kind of a low point in the season. So they fetch a pretty high price. And then a few weeks into Choquette season is when we start receiving imports from Dominican Republic and the price drops. So by the time the Monroes come around, the price has dropped. So Choquettes are awesome for me. Other than that, they're almost interchangeable. But I probably would recommend a Monroe over a Choquette to a backyard grower for two reasons. Number one, the Choquettes, every now and then, some of my trees will have a light year. So I might get, 60 fruit off of one tree, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to remember, these guys get to 3.5 pounds. So you're looking at 180 to 200 pounds. An avocado tree is going to give you about 200 pounds of fruit. The Monroe, the fruit's smaller, so you're going to get more individual pieces of fruit, which if you're a backyard grower, I think that's better. But they also never take a year off. They never have a light year. They produce like crazy. Otherwise, they're both very vigorous. They're both cold hardy. They're both late season. Choquette is a type A. Monroe is a flowering type B. So if you had all flowering type Bs, then I would recommend you get a Choquette over a Monroe so that you got that A to help with pollination. Other than that, I guess, it's kind of a coin flip. Maybe I'm tilted a little more toward Monroe. Flavor-wise, I think they're very similar. I think the Monroe is a little closer to the Hass we get from California. But this Choquette that we ate right here, and we really let this one get to perfectly ripe, this also had there's that avocado aftertaste that you don't get from all varieties of avocado. You certainly get it from the Hass. That is just so good. This is a mukbang. We watch what's her name? Chelsea Lynn. She's a comedian. Trailer Trash Tammy. And she does mukbang. She's hilarious. Sylvia loves rice with avocado. Is there anything to remedy anthracnose on your ready-to-pick hulls? No. You can prevent anthracnose. You can stop the growth of anthracnose. But once it's there, you can't make it disappear. And the answer to anthracnose is copper. So from first flowering till you pick the last fruit, give your tree a good spray with copper antifungal once every 30 days. We spray the flowers even. Certain other fruits you don't spray when flowers are showing. With avocados, we hit them with copper from flower right till we pick the last fruit. And then you don't have to spray something that doesn't exist. You wait till flowering season and you start all over again. Sorry, I'm trying to digest this rice now. Cardi, God, do they need to make this better, how to read these things? Cardi and Cardi amplifiers and subs and repairs. Great to see me. You're ordering some avocado. You didn't know I do live streams. I don't know I do live streams half the time. I really need to become a little more formal about this and schedule them and get a routine. But sometimes when we get bad rainstorms, or today we got this hurricane out in the Gulf of Mexico, I can't do nothing anyway. And I guess I could have taken a nap, but I'd rather talk to you guys. And for anyone that's new, the Choquettes are in season right now. We sell these at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. That's also where we sell the t-shirts, the hats. We got mangoes in mango season, all that stuff. Artful wants to know, how hard was it when we first started the farm? Were people taking advantage of inexperience, and did we ever sell at farmers markets? Okay, Artful, down here in Homestead, it's really an interesting agricultural region, because where I grew up in Pennsylvania, people had dairy farms, and they'd grow corn to feed their cattle, their cows, over the winter. And then they'd have their cows grazing. And there'd be an entrance to that farm, and then all their land was contiguous. Here in South Florida, the plots were laid out in 5 and 10 acre plots. There are much bigger ones than that too, but there are farms where the people might own 35 or 10 acre plots spread all over the place. So we're like driving down the street in our tractor, high-fiving each other. I'm going to my farm down there, and you're coming to yours down here, and we just pass each other. And so for that reason, there's a lot of people who have small farms. Like I own 5 acres. Now I lease and run other places, but as far as what I own, it's only 5 acres. And that's very common here. A lot of people have their house and they have 5 acres of mango, 5 acres of lychee, 5 acres of avocado, whatever. Well, then there's guys who own 500 acres. There's guys who own 1,000 acres. Those guys have the tractors. Those guys have the spray machines. Those guys have the picking machines. Those guys have the workers. Those guys also have downtime. So they outsource their work, and they will do it all for you for a cut, Or they'll lease your property outright. And so I did some research. I found a company that I was comfortable with, a farmer that I was comfortable with, and I gave my business to him and blindly trusted him. Now, you got to remember, at the time, I also still had a corporate job where I was making 20 times, maybe 40 times, probably 40 times what I was what my crop was yielding back then, because we were selling it all wholesale, which you don't get a great price that way. So it wasn't like a huge issue for me. It was enough to pay my mortgage, my insurance, and my taxes. So I didn't really care if somebody stole some avocados from me or something like that. But I knew they had a good reputation, and I wasn't really worried about people stealing from me. I was you are worried, like, are they caretaking properly? You don't want them to harm, down the road, your trees and stuff like that. And they proved themselves to be very trustworthy. And I got to know people. And now since then, that company is kind of dissolved and redefined, things move on. And so there was a core of that company that kind of went off on their own. And since then, I've formed my own relationships. I've learned how to do a lot of the jobs myself now, as I've gotten bigger, and as the retail side of my business has grown because of you guys, because of the web. The nature of my business is different. But no, now I've gotten to know people in this business, and look, somebody picks 10,000 pounds of avocados. He brings 2 home to his aunt. Who gives a shit? It's not even, I wouldn't even consider that theft. Now, we hold 1,000 pounds in a bin. They pick 10 bins and only 9 make it to the packing house. Well, that one bin still has to wind up somewhere. And it's a small enough world down here that we're going to know where it winds up. For example, I know there's a nursery I know of. And the guy tried to partner with me, and he wanted to do something a little illegal with some paperwork. With regarding the state of California, which you do not mess around with the state of California. The state of California has I'm registered. It's the only state other than Florida where my farm is. I'm registered as a grower with the state of California. They inspect my boxes. They call me up. I know them. Hey, Tom, it's, whatever his name is, and opened up another box. Everything looked good. It's on. We let your customer know, and it's on its way to their house. And this guy wanted to falsify his paperwork. He wanted to understand the California process. So as a favor, I told him about it. And then he told me this great scheme he had to falsify it. And I was like, I'm out, never mind. I'm done with you, and I don't mess with that. And then all the guys, they change jobs. It's just like restaurant work. You know what I mean? They've all worked at the same places. They all know each other. And so some of my guys who do tree grafting have done grafting for this particular nursery, and they know he just labels the pots whatever he wants to sell. It has nothing to do with what they actually grafted. My point being, the word is out on them. If there was a group of pickers making 10% of your crop disappear, there's another group of pickers that want that business, and they'll let the word get out on the one, and let you know, hey, I could increase your revenue by 12 or 15%. Because remember, if they're stealing 10%, the net increase is going to be more than 10%, right? It's going to be an extra bin on 9, which is like 12 or 15%. So there's, and a lot of these guys know that you only get one shot. This isn't like the corporate world. This isn't the federal government where you can't fire people. You can send a guy home that day. That's it. There's nothing. They're done. They're done if you want to get rid of them. And so I have found people in the agricultural industry to be very trustworthy. We all have to help each other. I might have early season varieties. You might have late season varieties. We both have mid season. So in the early, you might buy from me to sell at your fruit stand. In the mid, we compete. In the late, I might have to buy from you to help my customers. And you can shear a sheep 100 times, but skin them only once. you know. And there are people who've gotten reputations. There's a guy I know farms beans, and he was given a price, I don't know, whatever the heck it was, but when he got to the packing house, they told him 75 cents less per bushel than the agreement. He pulled a gun on them. He's a nut. He's nuts, this guy. I don't even know if he's still alive, to be honest with you. He pulled a gun on them. But like for the most part, I found it to be pretty up and up. I really enjoy the people I work with in this industry. Boy, that was a long answer. Sorry about that. And then, and how hard was it, Artful? You know, I dove in. Once I realized I wanted to retire from my corporate job, and I put myself on a 5-year plan. Now, 2 years into that 5-year plan, I ended up getting laid off anyway, so it just escalated the plan. But I really dove in and started learning the business, and it wasn't that hard. Look, nothing's hard if you find an expert and just do what they tell you to do. Which people reach out to me all the time. Oh, I'm going to plant this tree. How far from my house should I plant it? 16 feet. How far from other trees should I plant it? 16 feet. Well, I want to put it here, but that's only 4 feet from my house. Well, what did you ask me for then? You know? I'm the opposite of that. If I wanted to learn to play guitar, I would find whoever I know that's the best at playing guitar, and I would just do exactly what they did to learn to play guitar. And then I would know how to play guitar. And that's something I try to teach the boys. I coach in football, and my son and his friends. Like, of course you don't know stuff right now, but what you need to learn is the process to be able to learn. And that's the kind of stuff I teach them. Health Chick, you like my explanation as to why I don't grow Hass. Your 6-foot Hass died. JD's 6-foot Hass because the sun's too hot for them even in South Texas. Yeah, I've been to Texas. You guys got some sun too over there. Finn, I want to make you go farm. You porch grow on your condo. Look, eating something you grew yourself, especially when you get that first fruit off of it. Like this guy here, obviously I picked it too early, but I had to take a chance. Hopefully next year I'll get more. You know, unless it tastes disgusting, which it very well could, I'm going to be very happy getting the results of that guy. Oh, dude, greater good. Can you make rice mixed with pollock avocado? That is the avocado to make rice with. The pollock, for those of you who haven't tried it, is a very dense avocado. So if I was holding a pollock that was similarly sized to this one, it would be heavier. Now, pollock is also pear-shaped, but they're a very dense avocado. You can't eat a whole pollock. I mean, it's a lot of food to eat, which makes it just great to mix in that rice. Now you're making me want more of this rice. I guess there is another bite here. That's good. Man, it even smells good. Oh, you have family in Pennsylvania. Fantastic, man. Sir Alva says it's definitely not the cooling. Yeah. I mean, when I was a computer programmer, it was on IBM mainframes, and I think back then it was the cooling, but now it's probably not. Sharon bought an acre on Merritt Island, and he's just beginning his farm life. You have a grafted choquette, and you hope it does okay. Yeah, you're going to be good. Merritt Island ain't too far north. You're in a great growing zone. Yeah, you could probably grow some good mangoes there, too. Doug's Rare Fruit. You just bought 2 Jala avocado trees. Oh, that's that one in Australia. I think I saw a video about that variety of avocado. It's just being released, right? Out down in Australia. It might even be patented, if I ain't mistaken. It's bred to be good, but everyone selling trees says that. Well, you know, it's funny. I've been a salesman all my life. I was a paper boy selling newspapers. You know, I was a dishwasher. I was a computer programmer. But for most of my career, I've been in sales. And even as a farmer, you know, I can grow everything. I mean, this is the fruit's going to come. That's not the challenge for me. The challenge is getting you guys to buy it. Not that it's hard to get you to buy it. It's just hard to get people's attention, right? To go to the website. I always struggled as a salesperson. No, that's wrong. I misspoke just then. I didn't struggle with this. as a salesperson, when people would ask me for my endorsement, my opinion, whatever, I'd look them right in the eye and say, what do you think I'm going to say? I'm the salesman. Why don't we do this? Why don't you ask other customers and ask whoever you want? You know, some people have like their list of references. Oh, people don't like to be bothered. You can only call these people. Oh, yeah, right. You know that's going to be the guy that's getting a little kickback to say something good. I would say you pick up the phone, you call anyone that uses our software. Or no, you pick up the phone, you call anyone that's bought avocados from me and see what they tell you, you know? And so you're right. A guy who sells trees, it wants you to buy his trees. Of course, he's going to tell you every variety is delicious. If he thinks you're going to buy a tree and it comes down to 3 and you ask him to rank them, he's going to talk in circles, you know, and he might say, well, I like this one the best, or this one meets your needs. I think rather than tell a customer how good tasting a fruit is or how awesome a tree is, I think a good nurseryman, and the guys I work with are like this, will ask you, where do you live? How big is your yard? What are your goals? What else are you planting there? And then consultatively recommend a type of tree. Now, all that said, I've been reading about this Jala or Hala or whatever it says. Not reading, I don't read anymore. Looking at YouTube videos about it. And it sounds like it's a promising variety. That said, Paul from Fruitful Trees would tell everyone, always taste a fruit before you plant it, and taste it more than once. But I think you're going to be fine. Danny's waiting for the hurricane to pass. I think we all are. Mike says the answer to the trivia is the video card. Interesting. They didn't even have video cards when I was... Well, I guess they did, but not the stuff I programmed had video cards. Yeah, John, I'm sure the wind is blowing hard. Same for you as it is for me here. Maybe the companies need to hire retired boomers, is what Greater Good said. I think the companies need to hire Gen X. I'm Generation X, so we're between the boomers and the millennials and the Gen Z. And as a Gen X, I grew up with, you know, traditional, the World War II, the Tom Brokaw Greatest Generation, and older baby boomers telling us what to do, what words we could use, what words we couldn't use, how we were supposed to behave. And for the most part, we ignored them and did what we wanted. Created Silicon Valley, created the tech boom, basically, you know, changed the world with our innovations and contributions to the global economy. And I think what you notice with Gen X is we didn't really get into politics. Like maybe there's some, you know, people age like 45 to 60 right now in governor roles. But at like the federal level, it's like super old people. And then you got these young like AOC types coming in. We're like, we don't care. We're going to do our jobs. And we worked hard. We were, you know, we read The Firm, right? By John Grisham, right? The lawyer, you know, and all that Grisham novels. Those lawyers worked hard. They were the first one into the office, the last one to leave. Hammer, hammer, hammer. That's the work ethic the Gen X people had. And we did embrace new technologies where boomers were kind of set in their ways, you know. I think when the Gen X people age out, it's going to be tricky. Although, you know, living in a poorer part of the country with my son in public school, I see a lot of people like him and his friends that are hustlers and they're hard workers. Now, they're also athletes, so they tend to have that ethic in them. But like the 12th graders that graduated last year that are friends with my son, I'm very proud of them. They did, you know, they went to police academies. They went to vocational schools. One of them's in the not the police academy, but the academy to be a state corrections officers. They're, you know, they're career-oriented people. Now, granted, they're also people who grew up, you know, in this agricultural culture here where their dads and moms are entrepreneurs and run business and are hustlers and have to get up and work every day or you don't eat. And so I think there is a core of people out there, but whew, man, I don't know what the aversion is to work. I loved my job. When I graduated college, I was a computer programmer, okay? This was in 1993. We had to not only wear a suit to work because I wasn't like a West Coast beanbag chairs and what's that game with the little, you know, the little pinball thingy, whatever that, foosball, right? And they didn't really have that yet when I started working in the early 90s, but we were like the IBM Northeastern legacy type company. You not only had to wear a suit to work to write code, it had to be gray, black, or navy. You couldn't even wear a brown suit or a tan suit. It had to be like a conservative white shirt, conservative tie, gray, black, or navy. And dude, maybe in the summer you could go with a light gray, but you pretty much needed charcoal, black, navy, and don't go crazy with stripes. Nice and conservative. Burgundy tie, blue tie, white shirt, shine shoes. You know, that was the culture we went into. I loved it, dude. I loved it, you know. They issued us, you could participate in the stock purchase program. There was all kinds of like training and career advancement things you could get into. And, you know, people say like, oh, what about work-life balance? And, you know, don't you want to go on, I don't know, whitewater rafting trips or something? Well, I guess at some point, but I'm digging this. Like, it was exciting. You know, we were writing code and we were, you know, computerizing, in my case, the healthcare industry. I found it very exciting. And I found it very exciting to like look at other jobs in the company and go after those promotions and get to know people. And there were so many, like, in that world, like healthcare, software, so many incredibly talented and intelligent people that were like my mentors in life. I loved it. Now, there were definitely periods where my job satisfaction waned, typically when I had a shitty boss. Lucky for me, the company I worked with, I almost always had a good boss. I had one boss who was a criminal who I probably could have called the FBI and he'd be in jail for embezzlement. And then we had a boss who was senile. But other than that, I always had great bosses. And when I got those two shitty bosses, I found a way out from under them and went to other divisions. I don't know what people want to do other, like, what, you just want to sit at home all day? I don't get it. Whatever. Off my soapbox. Sorry about that. Yeah, Eddie's getting lots of wind. Oh, Arturo, you're welcome for the Choquettes. I hope you like them as much as I do. Greater Goods getting Gus. Poor Finn, this is the closest you've been to a dinner party. Maybe we'll do that one of these nights. We'll have a avocado-themed dinner party. Let's see. Yeah, Jupiter's just getting wind. Let's see. Oh, the hat thing I quoted was poetic. You're not being sarcastic. Yeah, I didn't make that up. Well, I made up the part. I didn't make up there's a hat for every head. But my embellishment to that was not every hat goes on every head. That was my addition to it. Keto, avocado bread, tortillas. Once you start production, you'll use all them up. Okay. Hugo ordered Monroe Budwood. Yeah, I got some Budwood orders today. You're going to like that variety. Broke Farmer, how you doing? MRD05D, what kind of window time-wise to eat 200 pounds of avocado? So, rule of thumb, a mature avocado tree is going to give you about 200 pounds of fruit. Unlike tomatoes that all go ripe at once, unlike even mangoes that'll ripen on the tree, avocados do not ripen on the tree. Avocados ripen according to a time schedule, and they don't finish ripening until they've been picked and left to sit for 7 to 10 days at room temperature. From my experience of the varieties I grow, the early varieties, I can stretch them on the tree for about 60 days, maybe to 90 days. The mid-seasons also, my lates I can stretch for up to 4 months. By stretch, I mean leave them on the tree. So as a commercial grower, I might be playing chicken with my fellow growers. I think the price is low. We're all holding back, hoping the price goes up till the first person sells, then the price is going to come down again. Unlike tomatoes, where everybody's tomatoes are ripe at the same time, there's a glut in the market, the price falls out, and then you can't pick tomatoes. So imagine as a backyard grower of tomatoes, if you could plant tomatoes and then have them all summer long, rather than have 90% of your tomatoes all in 1 week, 90% of your cantaloupes, 90% of your zucchini all in 1 week. Imagine if you could stretch that out. That's what you could do with avocado. And so for a backyard grower, that's absolutely what you'd want to do. And so the short answer is 60 to 120 days, depending on variety. And then I don't know if it's the variety that makes them different either, or whether it's the fact that the earlies, it's also the summer, so they're in heat. Whereas my lates, it's a lot cooler here in South Florida. I have to be out there sometimes. I'll wear a stock, it could be in the 50s, right? I don't know if the coolest extends their life on the tree, the coolness, or whether it's the varieties themselves. But like I said, my Donnies, if they start in late May, I got to have them gone pretty much by mid-July. Whereas my Monroes, if they start first week of November, I could keep them to Super Bowl Sunday. So you're looking at November, December, January, 2 weeks into February, and probably further, but by then I'm trimming my trees. And you pick biggest to smallest, because you want to let them small ones grow bigger. So rule of thumb, 90-ish days. So 2 pounds a day. Should you combine copper and sulfur for mango, combine copper and sulfur for mango, not for, no, forget I said that, no. Don't use sulfur on your avocados, just use copper. And then on your mango, you want to use sulfur on the flowers, but you don't want to put copper on the flowers. So no, I wouldn't mix them. Or when you say combine, you might mean use, in the same time period, but I wouldn't mix them into the same batch. Plus sulfur, you need to have an agitator in the tank while you're spraying it, where copper, you just mix it and spray it. So you need a different equipment for sulfur too. Seems like quite a lot of fruit to consume for a backyard grower. Well, better to have and need not than to need and have not. Paul from Fruitful Trees, who is a raw fruit vegan, will tell you only need 3 avocado trees, an early, a mid, and a late, because you're going to get enough fruit to eat avocados all season long. Also, a mango of this size, I could put 3 of them away like no problem. I could never put more than a half an avocado. I mean, on a dare, yeah, I could eat a whole 1 or maybe even 3. But like mangoes, I'll keep eating them till you make me stop. Avocados, you can't eat as many, so you don't need as many trees. But yeah, if you're going to grow, unlike tomatoes or squash or beans where you could control how much you plant a tree in your yard, that tree's going to grow. It's going to give what it gives. It's the way it is. It's Mother Nature. And you don't consume it all yourself. You give it away. Growing together. Thanks so much for the choquettes. Fantastic. You like them? Yeah, they're definitely worth growing. They're a hugely popular variety to grow down here in South Florida. And you got Monstera deliciosa. Ooh, I have 2 of them out on the counter. My kitchen smells delicious right now. Deepu, egg fruit in a shake. You'd love Eugenia stipitia. It's a great flavor enhancer. Okay, all right. Yeah, the wind is howling for Finn. Mike R., you like going to Scranton for the coal mine tours and the train museum? Let me tell you something, Mike, about those coal mine tours. We used to go down in the mines when we were kids. It wasn't a tour. They were just mines that, I don't know, they were just there from the old days, and we could just go right in them. Some of them, they tried to close them, but we could like shimmy through the bars, or over the years, holes would open up. We would go down in the mines and play as kids, and it was not uncommon for people to get lost, because when you're going in, you don't see when a tunnel joins, but when you're on the way out, you come to a fork in the road, you didn't mark which way you're supposed to turn, or you go in there as a kid with 1 flashlight and the batteries die. From going on the coal mine tours, there is no darkness that compares to the darkness of a coal mine. That is an absolute absence of light. I don't care where you've been. You could cover your eyes. You could go under your bed. You could put blankets on top of you. Until you've been in a coal mine, you have not experienced an absolute absence of light where you put your hand in front of your face. And so it's one of those things, I guess all males, all dudes think back to their childhood. I did have friends that died playing in that, not died, but, well, did I? No, but one got really messed up, fell from a high structure from an abandoned coal mine, injured. You kind of cringe inside, like, God damn, I hope my kid never does something that stupid, But we used to go down and there'd be like cave-ins and stuff. Like you'd get back, not the whole mine was cave-in, but like the roof, some rocks would come down and stuff would have come down. There'd be kids that would come walking out with to be on the news, like they come walking out with a box of nitroglycerin, I think is what they used back then. I don't know if that's the same as TNT. Whatever it was, it could be unstable, You could go in there and choke from gas. There's no oxygen and you don't notice it, you don't smell it, and all of a sudden 4 kids would just die in the mines. It was crazy. And then my grandfather, speaking of trains, my grandfather, when I think he was 8 years old, he got his foot stuck in a train track. His 12-year-old sister pushed him off the track. She got hit by the train. My grandfather lived. I have the newspaper article about it. He never spoke about it. We all knew about it. The whole neighborhood knew about it. It was, of course, a story, right? That would have been in like 1912 or so that happened. So 112 years ago. He lived to be like 93, and the night before he died was the only time he ever mentioned it to my grandmother, who they were married like 50 years, but they knew each other their whole lives because they grew up as next door neighbors. And he said to my grandmother, he said, can you imagine all those years ago, my sister pushed me out of the way of that train, saved my life, she died, and I lived to be 93 years old, or however old he lived. And then he died the next day. Incredible. Incredible. Oh, thank you, Finn. Guacfarm.com. Yeah, we got long sleeve and short sleeve. Thank you, Mitch, about my honesty. And then Meja, well, let me see. Maha Kalesk. Would I grow hydroponically? No, and what I grow wouldn't grow that way. I grow trees, and they need to be in the ground. Finn, you got a tank and tea. Fantastic, man. With the hurricane, I'm probably going to take a few days off of shipping. Even if a hurricane hits like up in Georgia or up in Virginia, it screws up shipping for a couple days in the whole country, but it'll be on its way. And you're right, growing. If you had to wait to taste everything, you'd only have two trees. It's tough to taste it all. Broke Farmer's right. Gen X is the best. Jennifer Connelly, movie generation. Drop the mic. I'm guessing that's a Gen X actress. I was so focused. I mentioned earlier, ask me some trivia questions, and go ahead, ask me more. I will dominate in Trivial Pursuit, except for the 90s version, because I was so focused on my job, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. Corporate America has definitely changed. After Moho bought the farm, no more vacations. The homestead is the vacation. You're right about that. You know what I mean? People would ask us, why don't you have chickens? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Well, that was because we used to race bicycles, and we'd be gone every weekend because the tours, you got to go up into Georgia, North Florida, etc. But now that we're kind of centralized here, we have animals now, and I try to not leave my zip code if I could help it, and I'm very happy to do that. Now, that said, I've seen the world. I had over 1 million miles on American Airlines. I had over 1 million miles on Delta. I've gotten to see the world, and I'm happy to be here now. I really don't want to. My sister-in-law lives in Spain. I really don't want to. I love my sister-in-law. If she wants to come here, that's awesome. I'll even buy her a plane ticket, but I don't see me crossing the Atlantic ever again. Why don't people in Florida learn and build south-facing dugout earth houses with the south face exposed with glass doors? When a hurricane comes, you can board up the one side. This is from Nate Ross 14. Nate, the people in South Florida, the people in Florida, get hit with more hurricanes than anyone. And I think if that was a viable solution, we probably would do it. However, with a hurricane comes an insane amount of rain, flooding. Hurricanes are wind, and hurricanes are flooding. I don't want to be in a dugout house that's half underground with a 4-foot wall of water washing over me. So I don't think that's a very good solution. What we've done instead is come up with a type of block housing with standards, roofs that are not only, attached to the house much stronger than they used to be, but also done in such a way that the aerodynamics of wind rushing over your home pushes the roof down instead of lifts it up. And at the end of the day, a Cat 4 that sits over you for a real long time, or certainly a Cat 5, those storms dig up chunks of land. Those storms create islands. Those storms cut islands in half. Those storms take where there used to be an island and wipe it away, and there's just water there now. And so there's really not much you can do past a Cat 3, and our homes survive the Cat 3s. But I don't think having a house that's half underground is a good solution when you've got literally a lake of water dumping down on you, as well as a wave of water being pushed from whatever body of water you live near. That's my answer to your question. And Jupiter's right, since our water table, even without a storm, is like right below the surface. Lake Toscana wants to know when I'll have more avocado scion. Right now, it's only going to be Choquette and Monroe. The other varieties I have, I don't have as many trees of those. They're sold out till next year. Sorry about that. Sunshine Country Chickens. Earth houses aren't possible in Florida. It's swampy, correct. But even if it wasn't swampy, you don't want to be underground in a hurricane. That's what floods. Sunshine has been a bad tree mom. You need to get your trees out of sleeves before your scions ship. If you ordered them from me and they're avocado scions, you've still got a few months, but yeah, make sure you're ready for them when they come. Or worst case, you want me to hold them for next year, let me know. Nate's from Florida. Build up the dirt above the ground, not dig down into the ground. Nate, are you messing with us, dude? Really? Like, we use cinder blocks. Like, a pile of dirt ain't nothing again. Come on, man. You're messing with us, right? Are you messing with us? Stop messing with us, Nate. The new code for Palm Beach County requires a minimum, 25 feet above sea level, Mojo? You must mean 25 inches. Above sea level, which is $230K of fill for your new construction house. You got to be talking 2 feet, not 25 feet. I mean, 20, right? You meant to put like 2 quotes, not 1 there, right? Jupiter, correct me if I'm wrong. Sunshine, you're on the southeast Texas, a lot of houses on stilts. Yeah, so they're safe from flood, but when you're up on stilts, you're more susceptible to wind. Look, we live in a world, you build, it tears down, you build back. That's how it is, Nothing's forever. Nothing's forever. Nate is now telling us you can build above ground earth houses. He's from Florida. He knows how to do it, so it works. All right. It's hard for me to believe that an earth house Did you ever read the story of is it the Three Little Pigs, the huff and puff and blow your house down? You know, it was the brick house, man. It was the brick house, the big bad wolf, or is that one of them Cinderella? You know what I'm talking about. One of them old fairy tales, right? The straw, the mud. It was the brick house that lasted, man. They knew what they were doing with that big bad wolf. Jupiter, where are you getting 25 feet above sea level in Jupiter, Florida? Wow. Okay, Nate. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't buy that an Earth house with sod on top of it is going to protect me in a hurricane. Sorry about that. Septic requirements, or you're going to have a lift station. Yeah. I didn't realize you guys were 25 feet above sea level. There must be some kind of ridge as you get a little further north. I know down here, like if you're 2 feet above sea level, your ears are popping, you know? Big tree, wait a minute, here we go. Greater, blah, 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 blah. Sunshine County chickens, big tree on your brick house from Hurricane Beryl. FEMA cut you a check already. I don't remember when Hurricane Beryl was. Sorry about that. So Jupiter, you must not have, obviously you didn't start at sea level. Like obviously you were already 20 something feet above sea level wherever you started, correct? Let me know. Let's see who ordered here. Okay, there's something from one of you. I'm not going to say your names. There's another one. I'm just checking guacfarm.com. Thanks for the orders, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, here's the person that wanted to swap out the avocado for the mame. Thanks for reaching out to me. Yeah, we'll talk. And that's good. Well, we've been doing this for just a little over 90 minutes. It's coming up on 6 o'clock. 5:39. Maybe we could call it quits. Let's do one more round of questions if anyone has any. While I take another little bite of this choquette. Oh man, it doesn't even want to go on the knife. It's so creamy. You can see the difference. When I've been eating the Miguels and the Simmons, I could just like spear them, stick them right in my mouth. You can't do that with a choquette. They're so creamy. Well, just touching it, it gets on your fingers. Oh my God, that is so good. But yeah, guys, if you did order avocados, say yesterday, today, or over the next couple of days on guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com, have a little patience with me because even though the hurricane's not hitting here, any type of natural disaster like that, even if it's up in Georgia, if it's up in even New Jersey, it has sort of like a domino effect, a ripple effect, and makes it hard to ship. So I typically don't ship. Now, the fact that this guy's hitting Thursday, Friday, we're probably going to be fine come Monday. Lake Toscana wants to know, besides Lula and Walden, what other varieties make good rootstock? Choquette. Look at the size of that pit. Anything that's got a nice big pit, because the bigger pit is just going to grow a thicker, bigger tree. You're just going to get to that thickness level faster. The Monroe has a big pit like that. The Miguel, I've never tried it, but those pits are big. But Choquette and Monroe are also good. I guess they like the Walden. The Walden tends to grow really fast. Have I used, growing together once in a while, have I used Choquette as rootstock? Yes, I have. Now, that said, I just graft for the novelty of it. And then when people come to visit the farm, I'll give them a tree or maybe sell them a tree. But I'm not really in the nursery business. I'm not really in the tree growing business, So people come to the farm, oh, you want a tree here? You could, they'll buy a bunch of fruit off me. I'll throw a tree in with it, if they want it, or I'll give them to friends, or I just graft them for content for the videos. So I'm not as concerned as, like, say, a proper nurseryman who's going to graft 10,000 of a certain variety of avocado, and then he's going to sell them to a tree wholesaler who's going to sell it to a retailer who's going to sell it to a customer. It's better for me to just go buy my trees. Because I'll replace maybe 5 a year or something like that. I'd rather just go buy 5, 7 or 15 gallon trees and plant them. Nate Ross, 14, lived here in 1992 during Hurricane Andrew and went down to Homestead to clean up, and it was bad. Yeah, Nate, I'll tell you what, man. I wasn't here yet, but I was here. I came to Florida 2 years later, and I remember driving to the Keys, going down the Florida Turnpike, and seeing almost like entire cities, like entire neighborhoods bulldozed into these giant piles of debris. The piles of debris were bigger than football fields, and they were hundreds of houses worth of wood, stucco, roofing, what have you, appliances, all just plowed. And it took years to properly dispose of all that stuff. It's just insane. And we mark time with events. People will say, what we're doing it now. We're saying things like before COVID. Oh, that was before COVID. Oh, that was before the lockdowns. Oh, that was after COVID, right? We mark time with major events. The people who live here, not just South Florida, but the people who live in Homestead, the people who took the direct hit, it's 1992, it's 32 years ago. Is that how long ago that was? Yeah, that sounds about right. They still mark time as in that was before Andrew, that was after Andrew. Oh, there was this great pizza place, blah, blah, blah. That was before Andrew we used to go to. Oh, when was how old's my cousin? Well, let's see. My aunt had him, blah, blah, blah. She had him at this place, so that was before Andrew. People mark, when people mark time with an event, it was a big event. That was pre 9/11. We talk about how the airports were before 9/11 versus now, Do I use neem seed meal? No, I don't mess around with any of that stuff, Julian. I'm land, water, fertilizer, antifungal, that's it. Greater Good wants to know, did I order the Apme? No, I did not order the Apme. The Apme would be good for me to have and grow because I'd love to be able to start selling in avocado in April. As you know, the Apme Greater Good is asking about is a new variety of avocado that came about right across the street here at the University of Florida Tropical Research and Education Center. It was found/discovered by Julian and one of the PhDs that runs that program over there. We're just walking the grounds, and they found some avocados that were ripe, edible, and delicious in the month of April. That's 2 months before any other variety of avocado is able to be eaten in South Florida. And right now there's only one tree fruiting, and it's across the street here at the Tropical Research and Education Center. Julian takes as much scion wood from Lara Farms as he can and is grafting Apme trees. So think of how much budwood can you harvest from a tree in a year? That's how many grafted trees Julian has. He's also got a waiting list of several years. So the next wave of budwood and grafts he does is already spoken for. Then as those trees start to grow, you will be able to harvest cuttings from them, etc. And so I feel like the Apme is the first tree that's gonna sort of proliferate as a backyard, as a retail tree versus an agricultural tree. So all these other varieties were started by nurserymen. They were grafted, they were put out to the farms, people ate the fruit, the nursery started selling them, people planted them in their backyards. This one's going the other way. all the ones that are grafted in existence right now are already spoken for by backyard growers, not ag, not commercial growers. And so I'm not gonna do that. Also, in order for that to make sense for me, I'd probably have to cut down a whole row of trees. There's no point just having 2. I'd need 25 to have any real, commercial impact, to be able to sell them commercially, And in order to do that, I'd have to plow down 25 already existing trees, and I'm not a big enough operation to do that. So I have decided against the APME and just living with the fact that my avocado season runs mid-June to January, and that's pretty much, I just have to live with that. Luckily, mangoes start earlier. They start in May. Mame starts in January, and my mame business has been growing. We've got a mame farm that I lease up north, and up north, like a few miles north of here. And we're going to do Sapodilla for the first time ever. We're going to do that in December, January, and February this year. And so rather than try to plug that gap with avocado, I'm just going to use other fruits. Oh, now that I've switched to UPS, I'm getting some good bulk rates. I'll be able to do lychee for real. I offer lychee every year, and it's like $120 to $150 because that stuff needs to be shipped overnight or 2 nights. And it's already an expensive fruit, 12 to 15 bucks a pound. So you sell 5 pounds at 12 bucks a pound, you're looking at 60 bucks, plus another 75 bucks to overnight it, maybe 100 bucks to overnight it to LA. Well, you can't do it to California now anyway, because the state won't let that fruit cross their border. But let's say I send it to Washington State, you're looking at 150 bucks just for shipping in the fruit. So I've offered it just for people who are lychee lovers as a favor to them, but I don't really promote it all that much. This year, I'm going to go pretty hard with lychee because now I have a cost-effective way to get it to my customer base. So I'm going to plug the gap with other fruits. I'm not going to try to plug the gap with an earlier variety avocado. And Nate said, yeah, Andrew marked him with a timestamp. It really does, it really does. Sharon Kern lived in Hawaii for 20 plus years, and the Charwil was very popular. I'll tell you what, I've been trying to get my hands on a Charwil. I want to try one so bad. I've heard great things about it. Not the tree, I just want to try the fruit. I mean, somebody get me a Charwil and send it to me. I really want to try the Charwil avocado. Am I going to make avocado trading cards? No, I'm not going to do that. Andrew Stillwell wants a double variety tree with 2 types on it. I think that's a great idea for a backyard grower. Hugo ordered an improved pollock and a reed from Julian. Okay, that's cool. That's good. The improved pollock is good. I tried it for the first time 2 weeks ago. I've never tried a reed, but I hear great things about it. Is there a market for freeze-dried mango? Imagine shipping powdered avocado year-round. Would be interesting to research. Okay. Yes, there is a market for freeze-dried mango or just dried mango. And 2 years ago, I probably could have freeze-dried more pounds of mango than I sold because we had so much. This year, I literally had to treat every fruit like a baby. Every fruit. We had so few mangoes this year as an industry. Some farms did okay, but for the most part, it was a horrible mango year. There wasn't even enough left over to try to dry or freeze dry or anything like that. But yes, there is absolutely a market for that kind of stuff. For me as a farmer, what I need to do to be certified, what I need to do to be within regulations, once you start getting into prepped food, so if I was to start making and shipping guacamole, if I was to can or somehow preserve or do jams, jellies, maybe ice cream to sell out on the street, then you get into a whole new world now. You're in the food processor business, you're in the restaurant business, you're in the catering business, depending, right? From a regulatory and certificates and permits and that sort of thing. And it really changes the nature of what your operation has to be, what kind of licenses, what kind of permits, what kind of inspections you're subject to. And so for me, I prefer to just stay with the fruit. There are other guys I know that are talking about getting freeze drying equipment, which I understand is extremely expensive. I have tasted freeze dried jackfruit, delicious. Freeze dried mango, delicious. There's something else I recently tried that was freeze dried. Mame, it was delicious. But that's not something I'd really look to get into. I've got more work than I can handle just with the fruit. And Jupiter, I figured, yeah, you kind of talked about avocado and mango both in the same sentence. And yeah, a freeze-dried, I knew what you meant. You're good. Yeah, Hugo, I get on that app, Maylist. You got to try it, dude. It is a delicious avocado. Sunshine, how much time to decide if you want to order more Scions? Well, I won't be shipping them till November, probably late November through February. I can't imagine running out of Monroe. I have so many Monroe and Choquette trees. So you're good, you're good. I probably have them up year round, I can only send them when they're good to send. Greater good, salt, pepper, olive oil, balsamic vinegar. He's responding to someone else. And forgive you, Sunshine. What's the best grafting tape? Well, we use buddy tape, which you can find it on eBay. It's not cheap, but it's like this very stretchable, almost, it's like parafilm almost, like a mix of wax paper and like a very stretchy cellophane. And that's what you wrap the Scion, and it keeps the moisture in. And then you can like double it or quadruple it and use it to actually wrap the graft firmly. But I don't. I wrap the Scion with the buddy tape, and then I close the graft with just any old grafting tape. And I would say get your preference. Shop around. There's like stretchy, medium stretchy, and firm. And it's user preference. Some of them are like very firm, like you go to stretch and it snaps. Others you can really give a good stretch. Some are thick, some are thin. So it's really up to you what you want to use. And it sounds like you have buddy tape in your cart. Yeah, go with the buddy tape. Or if you wanted, you can wrap the Scion with buddy tape, wrap the graft junction with your buddy tape or double it, and then you could always put a zip tie to even close it a little more. And it's coming up on 2 hours, guys, for an unannounced stream like this. And so I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for joining me today. And thank you for the questions. Thank you for the participation. I think there was a couple points in this live stream today where I got up on a soapbox, and I appreciate you allowing me to rant a little bit. I definitely came down hard on Nader Ross 14, but he seems to be a pretty tough dude and took it like a champ, so I appreciate that, Nate. And so I'm going to say goodbye to everyone right now. Thanks for joining the stream, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.